It has started. So with this, I hand over to you, Diana, and we are talking today about business marketing. The stage is yours. I'm a bit in the background. I work, and if someone needs access again, technical things, I try to fix it in the background. With this, thank you and enjoy your session.
Thank you, Manuela. I appreciate it, and I'm honored to be here today. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I have a few slides to help with our discussion today. If you could just confirm that you're able to see the slides. I couldn't see the picture or I couldn't see all your faces for a moment, but is it good? Can you see the slides?
Yeah, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback. So as Manuela mentioned, we're here today to talk about marketing and how marketing might be able to help your businesses. And with that, what we have to discuss today, we'll do some introductions. We'll talk about the purpose of the workshop. What is marketing and how can that help you? We'll dive more deeply into marketing and branding, and then we have some activities, and hopefully we'll be able to share some of the activities, and then we'll talk about what you can do next. So we have a lot to cover today. So starting off, I figured I can introduce myself. My name is Diana Julian. I'm originally from the US, and as you heard a moment ago, I currently live in Germany. I've been in Germany for about 4 years. I work for Boehringer Ingelheim with Manuela, and I have for 7 years. I started off in the US office and then moved to Germany to work at the global headquarters. And I've been working in different aspects of marketing for about 25 years. Currently, I work in a marketing and operations type role. But a little bit more about me. In March of this year, I was able to visit India with Making More Health, and it was such an amazing experience and an amazing trip. I had the opportunity to meet so many people through the programs, and I'm looking forward to getting to know you all today. So now I would love to see if there are some volunteers that would want to introduce themselves, perhaps on behalf of the group, to be able to share so I can get to know a little bit more about you. If you could share your name, where you're from, and if you're part of a group, and what you think, what you would like to see in this workshop. So are there any volunteers? If there are, you're on mute, but I'd love to hear from you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Rita from SOLASA. We have 30 participants in the room. They cannot introduce themselves all because of time, but on behalf of SOLASA, we are expecting by the end of this training today, we'll be able to have that marketing skills that will help us to run our small businesses in the community. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. My name is Sam Agutu from TENDO Social Development Group. I'm in the room with just one other person, but others are going to join, from their own devices. Now, we have a range of products that we manufacture and that we have branded. And we are now in the phase of going to market. And therefore, we would really benefit from your insights on our market that can help us with our marketing strategy, our sales strategy. And we have certain questions that we will ask regarding our brand, our branding ideas or our branding philosophies. So we really, this is a very timely session, and we do hope to really enjoy it and to benefit from it. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. Any other volunteers that would like to introduce themselves? All right. Well, I'm very excited to work with you today, and I hope to meet and exceed all of your expectations. So shall we dive in? Let's get things underway. Come back over here. So the purpose of this workshop, I think it's in alignment with the expectations that you shared. We want to help with the marketing and branding of your products. So I know we heard the terms marketing and branding as you were introducing yourselves. And why is this important? Because if we are able to give your product an identity, it will make it more memorable and it will encourage customers to buy from you, which will increase sales overall. So in order to help your product become more well-known, we can leverage marketing as well as branding. If there are any questions, feel free to raise your hand, either for those that I can see in the room. Otherwise, feel free to raise your hand in the chat, and we can work from there. All right. So what is marketing? I am hoping to get a little bit of participation today. So I'd love, before we get started and start to define marketing, what do you think marketing is? Are there any volunteers that would want to share some ideas? Does anyone want to try? All right, well, we will jump right in. Marketing is brand building. And so a brand is a promise. And so this is the entire experience that you feel when you use a certain product or service that benefits you, provides emotional satisfaction, and it's that overarching feeling when you experience a certain product or series of products. But it's not only that, there's also an emotional connection that creates brand loyalty, meaning you go back and you use the same product over and over again, and that is your preferred choice. And this emotional connection adds value above and beyond what you would expect from the product's attributes, meaning it gives you that special feeling. You want this specific product versus another one. Does that make sense? Are there any questions so far?
None from us.
Okay. All right, continuing on. I have a picture here, and I'm curious to see if you can identify any brands in the picture. Anyone want to identify any brands that you can see in the picture here?
Yes, there are several brands.
There's Safaricom.
Carry on.
There's Safaricom. There's Sportsman, Maramoja, Strepsils.
Exactly. You're able to see and identify the brands. Perfect. Now, if we think about a brand as a promise, what promises do you think are visible here? We have Mamu's multi-purpose shop, And the name by itself is saying you can come there and have many different needs addressed with the multi-purpose, correct?
Right.
And I see a sign for cold soda, so it's nice and refreshing on a hot day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any other promises that you see here or emotional connections?
There's Safaricom, the better option.
Absolutely, yes. All right, and I have one more picture to share. And here we see a market. Do you see brands here?
Yeah. There's Vena Petty Grocery.
That's correct. We see Vena Petty Grocery. So we have a sign for a specific stand. And what promise or emotional connection do you think that conveys?
The promise there, I think it's petty. I don't know if that makes sense.
Petty grocery.
Well, if we look at what is being sold there, to me, it's promising fresh fruits and vegetables. If you get to know the grocery, you can experience the delicious food. And even in the market, there might not be signs, but you get to know the different stands within the market and you know which ones you want to return to, correct?
Yes.
All right. So then with that, I want to ask you all, what other examples can you think of brands that you experience?
Samsung.
Samsung, that's a good one, yeah.
There's Airtel.
Mm-hmm.
Toyota.
Absolutely, yes.
Coca-Cola, Apple.
There we go. Great
Boehringer
examples.
Ingelheim. Boehringer Ingelheim.
Yes, indeed. Any other examples of brands that you can think of?
Kibao.
There we go. There we go.
Toyota.
All right. So now the next question, with all of these brands in our mind, how do we create a strong brand? What can build that emotional connection? And I do have an answer for this. We have several different characteristics to create a strong brand. So the first one that you see here is uniqueness. So the brand needs to be different than other products in the market. Whether that's, Coca-Cola might taste different from other drinks. Toyota might have certain characteristics that we appreciate in a car. But having something that is unique makes something more memorable and helps to create that brand. In addition to that, we have identity, where, excuse me, the brand needs to have a clear, identifiable persona. How is this brand different? If we think about Coca-Cola, we think about that logo, the sign, the red and white colors. We think of refreshment. That's how they advertise it. We have consistency. We want every interaction with the brand to have that same feel, the same tone, the same emotional connection. It's not many different ways to approach the customer. It's the same consistency, so that way customers get to know and appreciate what the brand is about. We want to be sure that there is alignment to customer needs. If there is a need from a customer, we want our product to be able to address that need. And also understanding the customer, making sure that the brand or the product is able to fulfill the customer's needs on an emotional level. Understanding the why behind this. And ideally, we want a clear story, meaning why should you purchase this product? What makes it special? How will it help you? How does it address your need? So now I have another question for you. What are some examples of a brand that includes some of these characteristics? Are there any volunteers that would like to take a guess?
I think Coca-Cola, fulfills all of these.
How so? Can you give me an example of one or two of them?
Well, Coca-Cola, the taste is unique. It has a very, clear, brand identity in terms of the logo, but very specifically, even the shape of the bottle.
Very true, yes.
Yeah, a Coca-Cola in China and a Coca-Cola in Nairobi taste the same. I think I've never been to China.
Very true. It looks the same, or the language, the letters might be different, but the overall look is the same. I believe the
Yes.
taste is the same, but I have not done a side-by-side comparison, but I believe you're correct.
Yeah, and really, in terms of the needs, Coca-Cola promises to quench your thirst, and indeed, a cold Coke does that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Any other brand examples? Any other volunteers to share another brand that helps address some of these characteristics?
There's Samsung.
All right, how would Samsung address the characteristics?
It's unique. Then when it
Absolutely.
comes to identity,
Mm-hmm.
I think almost everyone here in Kenya knows Samsung.
It's well known. Perfect.
They are consistent.
I like it. I like it. All right. So now what I would like to do based on those examples, thank you so much for volunteering. If we go back to Mamu's multi-purpose shop, what do we see that's unique? What identity do we see? Any volunteers to identify some of these characteristics in the picture?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's clarify. You're saying what is unique about the brands?
Yes.
Or about the brands, or is it about the brands or about the shop in general?
Both of them, because the shop is a brand and the shop is advertising specific brands, so it could be either.
Well, in regards to the shop, it's
Mhm.
shown its uniqueness because they're able to show, they've shown that they're multifaceted and they're able to appeal to all customers' needs. So if they've gone looking for anything, if there's something, even if they've gone for something that they'd like, there's variety. So there's variety of things to choose from. And
Perfect.
they understand the consumer well, and there's
Yes.
consistency, and there's an identity because they're saying they're a multi-purpose shop.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love all of those answers.
Yes, and there's a clear story. I think it shows everything, it depicts everything based on the criteria that you've given.
Absolutely. Any other volunteers? Do we see anything specific about the brands that are being sold in the market?
There's Safaricom,
Mm-hmm.
unique. It's number one. What do you call it? A brand in Kenya when it comes to mobile.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
And I think it's consistent in the market.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. When it comes to, oh, go ahead.
Right. There's something I wanted to mention, but this I think comes from certain insights, having been in this market for a time. Sportsman is a very, very old and famous tobacco brand. And it has that unique, that the color, and even the way Sportsman is written. Now, this other one called Supermatch, is a much younger brand, but we can see that it has tried, to look like Sportsman. In terms of, you can see the color, the red, and even the S, Supermatch and Sportsman. I think, it's possible to try and look like a famous brand.
That's a great point. If Sportsman is well known and it has addressed quite a few of these, if not all of these characteristics, then Supermatch wants to kind of build upon that and leverage that the place in the market and to try to say we are in the same category as well. So that's a great point. When it comes to understanding the customer and aligning to customer needs, Mamu is also calling out cold soda. So on a hot day, a nice cold drink is always nice to help cool you down, and being able to identify some of the needs that can be met when you come to Mamu's multi-purpose shop. That shows that Mamu is working to build a brand. All right, I bet you know what's coming next. We're back at the market, and we have the Vina Petty grocery, and we have a broader marketplace with a number of stands. What do you think, what characteristics are being met here? Any volunteers? So when it comes to the marketplace, if we look at the picture in the top right, I'm not sure that uniqueness can be addressed. Once you get to know the stands, you might know which ones are more unique than others, whether it's carrying specific fruits and vegetables or whether it's the quality. But being able to build that relationship with the customer, we can address consistency, I would hope, making sure that the fruits and vegetables are quality, alignment to customer needs, making sure that your customers are able to get fruits and vegetables that they want to purchase, and making sure that there is a clear story by being able to have the fruits and vegetables, then you will have a wonderful meal. All right. So with that, I have a little workshop or a worksheet for you to fill out. I'm hoping that there might be printouts in the room. If not, we can use paper and just write the answers down. So we have our 6 characteristics here. And for each of you that have a business, or if you have a product, I'd like you to think about, for your product or your business, what makes it unique? What makes your brand special? From an identity perspective, how would customers describe your brand? What would they associate with your brand? From a consistency perspective, does every experience feel the same? Are you fulfilling a customer need? Is there an understanding of the customer? You know, are we able to connect with the customer on an emotional level? And what might the story of your brand be? Now I have a little hint. I know you have had, I believe you have had some other workshops previously. One addressed a value proposition. So if you were a part of that session, it might be something to think about to connect the different pieces together. But overall, even if you were not part of that session, think about what makes your product unique. How would customers describe your brand? Is every interaction or experience the same? We were talking about Coca-Cola looks the same. It has the red and white everywhere you go. It has the same flavor everywhere you go. If you're making soap, is it the same packaging? Is it the same color? What is the identity and consistency of your brand or your product? So any questions? All right. I'm
None
thinking
from-
we can, oh, go ahead, Sam.
No, I said no question from us. How
Oh,
long?
perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful. So I'm going to, it's 9 o'clock for me, I think 11 o'clock for you. Maybe we take 15, 20 minutes for everybody to write down these 6 questions and how your brand can address some of these. And if it doesn't address them yet, that's fine. You can think about how you would want them to be or what you might want to change to ensure you have this. So with that, let's everybody can write down what their characteristics are for their brand, and we can take 15, 20 minutes. If you could let me know when everybody's finishing up. I can see one room, but the others, if you could let me know how you're doing. And if there are any questions while we're doing this exercise, feel free to speak up. All right, so with that, we can give everybody some time to go through the characteristics.
Okay.
I just wanted to do a quick check-in to see if there are any questions or if everybody's still writing.
Still writing, still working on it.
Perfect. We have the time. I don't want to rush this because this will help us as we continue to the next exercise. So take your time and let me know when you're ready.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I'm hoping everybody's had a chance to answer the questions. If not, no worries. We can use what you have in the upcoming exercises. So before we move on, I wanted to see, were there any questions as you were filling this out, or anything new that you thought about with regard to your business? Is everybody still there? I just want to check to make sure that everybody's back and ready to continue on.
Yes.
Wonderful. Perfect. So everything made sense with the characteristics and filling it out?
Yes.
All right. Perfect. I'm happy to hear that, because now we're going to pivot and change a little bit and talk about what can we do for your brand and how can we use marketing to help with your brand. So we're going to talk about things a little bit differently, but we're going to build upon the exercise we just finished. So if we think about going on a boat ride, we are here on the boat and we want to get to the island. So we're going to go from where we are in the boat over to the island. We want to figure out what our objective is. So we're trying to reach the island as quickly as we can. But, you know, what will help us get there? What are the benefits that we have to be able to achieve this goal? We're going to think about what our drags are, what is holding us back, what experiences have we had that might not have been the best? What successes have we achieved? What have we been able to do to help us get towards that island? And what obstacles do we think might be in our way between where we are and where we need to go? And then, of course, we come up with an action plan. So if we think about a product, let's pick a brand that we can discuss and talk about these different ways to define a brand as far as what the benefits are or the strengths, the drags, the successes, the obstacles, and what action plan we might be able to achieve. So any suggestions for a brand that we might be able to select?
Well, at Tendo, we were discussing our brand, which is Tendo.
Okay.
Tendo
Well, we're
is
going
the
to get
corporate.
to our own brands in a minute, but we can use this as an example if you'd like.
Yeah. So sorry, what was the question again?
Let's pick a brand and we can talk through what the objective might be, what the benefits and strengths. And
Then we
just
can talk
to
about
let you know in advance, the next step will be to do the same exercise for our own brands, our own products. So I was hoping we could pick one that everyone might know, but I wanted to see if there were any suggestions for what we could review.
We can use Coca-Cola.
All right, perfect. So what do we think Coca-Cola is trying to do? They're trying to sell more Coca-Cola, right? And so what do we think their benefits are? What are their strengths? Why should someone buy Coca-Cola?
Taste. Robert.
The taste,
Cheers.
that's one thing, yeah.
It's muted.
Any other ideas or suggestions?
Yes.
I couldn't hear that. I'm sorry. Could you repeat?
The refreshment.
The refreshment. That's a good one. Yes. What else? Is it easy to find or difficult to find?
Some of the attributes of the brand.
Well, when you if you wanted to buy a drink, is it easy to find Coca-Cola or is it difficult to find Coca-Cola?
Very easy. Easy. It's very easily accessible.
There we
Almost
go.
like-
That would be another benefit. Absolutely. Any other benefits we can think about?
It's about it. It's affordability. They have different sizes, and one that just fits your pocket.
Very true. Very true. All right, then let's think about the drags. What difficulties have they experienced? What are the negatives from a Coca-Cola perspective? What has slowed them down?
Over time, there have been preferences in terms of people who are more cautious about their diet.
I'm having trouble hearing whoever's speaking. I think you're with Sam.
There's a certain market segment that are more cautious about their health. So there are a lot of people who are now coming out of who have a preference, who prefer not consuming soda and look for alternatives. So that's why those are one of the barriers, that the challenges that
Absolutely. Very good example of one of the drags, the health concerns as it relates to Coca-Cola. Very good example.
The other one is plastics.
Yes.
The plastic pollution.
Absolutely. So what about successes? What successes have Coca-Cola or has Coca-Cola been able to achieve?
They've made themselves a strong brand, especially because they have a clear target market, which is the youth. And they've been able to access it through various CSR programs and sponsorships. It then makes it accessible, it then makes it relatable to everyone. And people then feel more enticed to consume the products because they know it's something that's impacting them.
Perfect. I love that example. Any other successes that we want to capture?
I think also effective distribution.
Yes.
Is one product that you can virtually access at arm's length. Anywhere you go, you'll find you'll have access to a Coca-Cola, a cold Coke in Kenya. Even in the rural areas, you'll find Coca-Cola.
Very good example. Very good example. All right, let's talk about obstacles. So what potential issues are holding them back? Now we know that the plastic bottles was one of the drags. So if they wanted to address plastic bottles, what would be an obstacle for them? So changing the way they deliver Coca-Cola, you know, the bottle or the can, it would be very expensive, right?
Yes.
And the other drag that we had talked about was the health concerns. So what obstacle would be there with, to be able to address health concerns? If they create a different recipe that would be healthier, that would take time and money, and then they would have to figure out how to distribute it. And it has the potential to be problematic there as well. So if we were Coca-Cola and we wanted to create an action plan, some ideas as far as what we could do to get from today to be able to sell more products, what types of things would we consider on our action plan? This is our to-do list.
To promote healthier options, like Coke Zero.
Very true. I like that one. Yeah. What else?
Well, also to promote other products that are produced by Coca-Cola, like water, juice, that would still contribute to their revenue, although not under the Coca-Cola brand.
Absolutely. I like it. All right. So with this background, as far as what we've done, taking a look from the perspective of Coca-Cola, let's now take a look. I'm not sure if you have a worksheet, but if not, take a piece of paper. You can flip your paper over if you would like to what we had done previously. And we're going to go through the 6 areas. So we're going to take a look at the objectives. So for your business, your product, what are you trying to do? You can list out 6 things, you can list out 3, but the idea is trying to figure out what you're trying to achieve. So if we can start with that, we're going to go through each of these, but perhaps we can do this together. So if you have questions, you're able to speak up. So I'm going to pause for a few minutes and we can have everybody fill out their objectives. So once again, what are you trying to achieve with your business? Yes.
So something's not very clear. Now,
Okay.
in terms of what we're supposed to write, okay, there is the boat that is sailing, there's the strength, obstacles, successes, objectives, reach its objectives. What are we supposed to be writing? The individual strengths, obstacles, or
so what we want to do is we're going to do each of these. And I am hoping that we can focus first on the objectives. So for your business,
all right,
what
yes,
are you
fine.
trying to do?
I get
Thank
it.
you for the question. I'm glad you asked so we could clarify. So I wanted to focus first on objectives. So I'm assuming for each of our products or services for our business, we would want to sell or to sell more. We would want to potentially reach new customers. We would want to you know, if you're creating soap as an example, maybe you want to try a new scent or a new type of soap. And so this is very specific to what you want to be able to sell, what your product is, what your brand is. So what are you trying to achieve?
Very clear.
All right. If you have questions, feel free to speak up. So if you have populated your objectives, fantastic. If not, you will still have time, don't worry. I'm going to move to the next slide because I think it might help with some of the other fields or the other questions I'm going to say. So we talked about the objective. What are you trying to do? Keep writing that one down. And then the next one we want to address would be the benefits or the strengths. So what does your product do? Why should someone buy your product? What support do you have for that product? And this is where, when it comes to the benefits or strengths, remember the worksheet that we filled out before, where we talk about uniqueness, identity, consistency. Some of these might be your benefits or strengths. So feel free to take a look at what you filled out in that first worksheet to help you populate this one. So I'm going to say, since everybody might be moving through the questions at different times, I'm going to say, why don't we take 15, 20 minutes and we can fill out, you know, ideally what your product is, the objective, you know, what are we trying to achieve, the benefits or strengths, which we just spoke about, any drags, any concerns that you might have faced so far, the successes, the obstacles, and then we can work through the action plan. So I'm going to suggest, as you can go through this at your own speed, if you have questions, feel free to speak up, and I'm happy to help out. But we can give everybody 15 minutes or so, and we can have we can talk through what this looks like. Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. All right. If you do have any questions, speak up. Otherwise, I will check back in probably about halfway through the time to see if there are any questions or how we're doing. And we can work from there. So the idea, once again, is to fill out these different areas that you see on the right, or excuse me, on the left side. You know, identifying what your product is, what the objective is, what you're trying to achieve, the benefits and strengths, the drags, the successes, the obstacles, and then ideally create an action plan for how you can achieve this. So I'm going to go on mute. If you have questions, speak up. Just checking in. Any questions?
None from us. We're still working.
Perfect, perfect. If you want anything if you have anything you'd like me to clarify, happy to do that. Otherwise, please keep filling out the different areas, and we will proceed in probably another 8 or 10 minutes. All right, how are we doing? Has everybody been able to fill out the different areas?
Well, we have attempted.
Perfect, perfect. I'm happy to hear that. And the other groups on the line, how are we doing?
Hello.
Hello.
We've done we've taken part of the questions.
Okay,
and
perfect.
I want to try to answer those questions. Like my product, my brand is a grocery. Yeah. And the question was that, what are you trying to achieve from that business? My answer is that to reach as many customers, deliver to them fresh and affordable products, and also to create a good rapport with my customers.
Perfect.
The second question was, what does what slowed you down? Anything that can slow me down, maybe a season, when the season changes, and yet I'm selling things from grocery, that is tomatoes, maybe vegetables and other things from the farm, which are sold freshly. When drought can affect me. Also, sometimes when there is that drought, there is hiking of products. The products come with a higher amount. Also, inadequate capital. Maybe the consumers are many, but I have little capital. Okay, the third one was that, what success have you already achieved? The success that I've already achieved is that I have understood my customers and their preferred time of shopping. Also, building a good rapport to sustain them. There are obstacles to my business. The obstacles are just like change of season, hiking of products, and lack of enough capital, i.e., I have many consumers and I have little products. How can you achieve your objective? My objective, how to achieve my objective, I've come up with that. To sustain my customers through satisfied products. And that is what we've done. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you walking us through that. That's perfect. Along those lines, what I'd like everybody to do is to pick a partner, ideally in the room with you, to share your answers that you have written down for those different questions. And what I would really like you to focus on as you're sharing all of the different categories, the benefits, the drags, the obstacles, the successes, when you get to the action plan, share with your partner if you have ideas for how they can evolve their action plan specifically. And as you are sharing with a partner, feel free to add more things to your worksheet. If a new idea comes to you, this is your worksheet. You can use it as a tool to help you overall. So I'm going to pause for a few minutes. If everybody has a partner, if there's if there's an odd number, one group can be of 3 if necessary, but I'd really like it to be teams of 2 to share their answers, to be able to identify your product, what your objective is, the benefits or the strengths, the drags or the barriers that you have faced so far, the successes, the obstacles, and then most importantly, the action plan for what you wish to achieve moving forward. So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time, and feel free to share. If you have questions, let me know, and we can work from there. All right. Has everybody had an opportunity to share with their partner and to provide some feedback on the action plan?
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. Now, part of this is working with other team members or other team members in the room. The idea is to be able to capture some additional feedback and thoughts. So now what I would like you to do is to have one pair that has been working together, grouped together with another pair. So there should be 4 people. And to once again share your ideas, share your product, share your overall plan to talk through what your objective is, what the benefits are, and repeating this will help identify what your brand truly is about, and being able to get feedback from additional team members that you're going to be partnered with. So I'm going to ask that each pair group with another pair and go through the same exercise, where if you're able to share some feedback or ideas, especially about the action plan, what actions could be taken to move forward, I think it would be very helpful. So I'm going to give the teams probably about 20 minutes and we will come back. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment, but when we come back, we will continue on. Any questions?
No, that's quite clear. Thank you.
All right. So let's get things underway and we will come back in a little bit. All right, I wanted to check in, see how everybody was doing. Have you been able to share with the 2 sets of partners?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. Now for the next step, I'm wondering if we have any volunteers to share their framework with the group. So this would be sharing your product, what the benefits are, what the objective is, any challenges you may have faced, the successes, and the action plans.
Okay.
It sounds like there might be a volunteer coming up.
We are here.
Ah, wonderful.
Okay. Product brand is VICCO. Our product brand is VICCO Cosmetics. VICCO Cosmetics is a trusted, stylish brand offering a high-quality braids and beauty products to empower and celebrate every individual style. Our goal is to provide our customers with access to a range of quality and fashionable braids. The benefits we are getting is quality and variety, in which we offer top quality braids in a range of colors, textures, and lengths, allowing customers to enjoy. And affordability and reliability. The difficulties we encounter is competitive market, in which we encounter stiff competition in the market with other brands, and also inventory costs. The success is growing customer base. We've grown a loyal customer base and satisfied customers. And also positive feedback. Customer reviews highlight our product quality, establishing a trustworthy reputation. And also expansion of product lines. We have been able to expand our product offerings to include a wider variety of products and beauty products, giving customers more choice and flexibility. And what's holding me back is limited market resources. We have limited funds for advertising and promotion, making it challenging to reach a wider audience. And also location limitations. We have limited foot traffic or the surrounding competition, which may affect customer reach. And lastly, how can I achieve my objective? By focusing on digital marketing, in which is going to increasing our online presence through social media, and also engaging with customers, that is utilizing customer feedback to expand our product, building stronger customer loyalty, and also brand partnerships and influencers, partnering with local influencers who resonate with our brand values can help increase visibility, hence attract a wider audience. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love it. And have you worked through something like this before, or were you able to identify these as we were going through the process here today?
I've been able to identify as we were going through the process.
Ah, wonderful. I appreciate you volunteering to share.
Okay, thank you so much.
Are there any other volunteers that would like to share their framework?
Yes, we'd like to share.
Fantastic.
Yes, our product and brand name is TENDO. Our objectives are economic empowerment, increased sales, and extending brand extensions. Our benefits and strengths is that TENDO is a unique product, is unique because it combines affordable, high quality hygiene products with a strong social impact. Our products also provide a high quality and consistent cleaning result. Why should someone buy the product? Because it fulfills its cleaning message and provides an avenue for social impact. The kind of support that we have is the community with reference to human resources and market. The drugs, what difficulties have we experienced? We've experienced limited resources, bureaucracy in approval by government and agencies, as well as competition. What slowed us down is converting members to become salespeople, as well as then implementing effective distribution. The successes that we've achieved so far is that we've managed to launch 7 products and go to market, each with different sizes. We've been able to display at an exhibition so far, in which was very successful. It was a 5-day exhibition and was very successful. We then were able to receive good feedback and have since been able to retain a large percentage of clients from the exhibition. We have since trained members on how to produce the products and also taught them how to make sales, and also introduced a benefit of a commission for each product sold, which then gives them more motivation to sell, knowing that they're going to get something from it, knowing that they'll benefit not just from, we've also been paying them for each production. So we've created 2 avenues for receiving payment, which is through the production and the commissions. The obstacles that are holding us back is resources for scaling, i.e. limited resources. We also have limited marketing, human resources, and distribution. Limited resources for scaling. So the action plans and how we can achieve our objectives is by mobilizing resources and appointing distributors for effective distribution. Our short-term action plans are to increase storytelling on digital platforms to highlight the community impact and increase sales, leverage partnerships for funding, logistics, and marketing support, enhance operational capacity in both Mukuru and Kindu Bay, leverage on our networks as channels and as markets. Our long-term action plans are to develop eco-friendly practices to appeal to sustainability-conscious consumers, strengthen product branding to stand out in a competitive market, and build distribution networks to expand regional and national reach. Thank you.
Fantastic. I like how you broke out the action plan into the near term and the longer term. So that means you have the vision for the future, but also being able to identify the steps that can be taken immediately. That sounds great.
Thank you.
Any other volunteers? All right. Well, we have our strategy, and now comes what I like to think of is the fun part, where we want to be able to take this strategy with our action plan and our benefits and create materials that can help us achieve our objectives. So the first step is thinking from a marketing standpoint, what do we want to communicate to our customers? And I know the two examples that were shared take this into consideration to identify the uniqueness, the identity, consistency, alignment to customer needs, making sure you have that emotional connection, and making sure there's a clear story. So if we think about all of these things that we would want to communicate to our customers, making sure we're able to do that in a short way so it can be memorable. The next area is we think about the visual identity. So this could be anything like a logo. If you have a product name, being able to design the name in a certain way, whether that is by hand or digitally, both will work. Thinking about pictures. In the first example we heard, it was about braiding, and being able to show the different types of braids can be very impactful, and making sure that you're able to communicate those to your customers. So that way you're able to see either the different types of braids, or in the example from a cleaning product perspective, the impact of the products, perhaps before and after pictures, or being able to identify the environmental benefits as well. And when we were talking earlier about some of the examples of brands, colors became important. We think about Coca-Cola, and my brain immediately goes to the red and white colors. If you think about Toyota, I think about the logo, and the same thing with Samsung. I think blue, and I think of the logo in my head with their different products. And then finally, and this was touched upon as well a few times in the examples that were shared, how can we reach new customers or existing customers as well as new customers? And being able to think of things like social media, where if you're able to create an account specifically for your product or your company, you're able to share pictures, whether that's of the different types of braids, to be able to have customers come in and say, I would like this kind of braid. Or whether it's the cleaning products, you can even use it as a recruiting tool to have more salespeople come in, and being able to share that emotional connection about how the sales teams are helping the communities and so forth. You can create signs on a very basic level. When we were looking at the pictures of the market earlier on, we saw the fruit stand had a sign with a name, and others did not. So from my perspective, if we think about which one might be more memorable, being able to see the name and a sign helps you remember. It provides that uniqueness. It gives an identity. And if we think about Mamu's multi-purpose shop, it's the same thing, where you're immediately connected with the owner, Mamu, and you're able to see what Mamu is able to sell. So being able to create that connection, social media and being able to make physical signs are things that can be done with minimal impact from a cost perspective. Social media has the opportunity to reach more people, as we were discussing, or as it came up earlier. And WhatsApp can be another resource as well, similar to social media, but being able to connect with customers and perhaps even placing orders, building relationships, and so forth. So if you were to create an ad that addresses these different areas, if we think about what we want to say to our customers, the uniqueness, the identity, the consistency, being able to address customer needs, this is what your ad can say. We want to keep it short and high level, but at the same point being able to think about how you can communicate more about your product, the value of your product within the ad makes it memorable. When we think about the visual identity, this is what your ad will look like, being able to create a logo perhaps, or to take those pictures and those images to show the successes of your product. And then finally, if we think about the channels like social media, this is where you can place an ad and being able to address your strategy as we are moving forward. So from the two examples that were shared, do you already have things along the lines of messaging and a visual identity? I did hear a little bit about social media, so perhaps that is the case already, but I just wanted to pause and see if there were any examples that you would like to share or ideas that you might want to address. And if that's not the case, that's completely fine. I just thought it might be fun to hear a little bit more about your experiences overall.
So
Oh, I wasn't sure if there was going to be a volunteer or not. No worries. So I do have some homework for, oh, Sam, go ahead. Would you like to share something?
Yes, we have an existing logo.
Fantastic.
As well as a motto called, and it says "Tujitegemee," meaning for people to be self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Fantastic. And where do you put the logo and the pictures?
We always capture it on the top.
Fantastic. And this is for social media, for on the product, on the cleaning products themselves, or
Yes.
where do you?
Yeah, on the social media as well as on the products, the logo itself stands out.
Mm-hmm.
So that just to also build brand familiarity, as well as just brand familiarity, and also just to have people, whenever they purchase it, this is what stands out to them. So whenever someone purchases, they'll always remember it.
Perfect. So that helps address identity, that helps address consistency, that helps connect that identity to customer needs, and perhaps some uniqueness in there as well. I like it.
One other thing that we can just add, we have the name TENDO is our corporate brand, corporate name. Now each product bears that name. So you have TENDO bleach, TENDO shampoo, TENDO this and that. And we ensure that on each product, the TENDO is consistently branded across all products, so that as you're engaging with the product, there's a consistency in fulfilling the brand's attributes. TENDO means action. Yeah. So whether you're using TENDO petroleum jelly or TENDO bleach, you get the same TENDO experience.
I love that. So you have consistency, you have an identity, and you're building upon that with the broad range of products. Sounds perfect. All right. So with that, oops, I do have some homework for the group. It seems like some of you might have already done this or had this already in place. So I would ask if you do not, or even if you do, you might want to consider how it can be evolved. But using the strategy worksheets that we've already created, I would like you to think about and perhaps define what you would want to say. For the TENDO example, you know, they're different products. Perhaps there's something different to be said about each of them, but ideally there might be something overall, you know, about the importance of hygiene or the company mission as far as what you're trying to address. But think about what you would want to say to help achieve those action plan steps, and being able to capture that in, you know, write it down, and then thinking about your visual identity. If you have a logo, fantastic. If you don't, perhaps you start to create one. It can be something very simple, or it could be something a little bit more elaborate. It's whatever you feel represents your brand in the best way possible. Thinking about the imagery or the pictures that you would want to use. In the hair braiding example, to me, that is the perfect way to showcase the talent that can be leveraged for the braids, whether the different styles, the different lengths, the different colors, and being able to showcase that, I think is a great opportunity. And then thinking about how to reach your customers. Social media is something that I have heard some of you are already doing, and thinking about how you might be able to expand that. Are there larger social media accounts that you can connect with, and being able to leverage that overarching network, being able to perhaps connect with some influencers or some people, whether they're local or national, that might be able to highlight your product or your service, to be able to get that discussion going. And leveraging signs, and perhaps considering WhatsApp as well, being able to make all of this happen. So with that being said, you know, we do have some homework to share with you, and I'm hoping you're able to address that. But finally, what do you do now? I'm asking you to review your worksheets. These do not have to be completed and done and finished and never looked at again, but to be able to review those worksheets and add any updates. Perhaps the competition changes, you're able to adjust your overall strategy, and be able to be agile and address challenges as they come up. Then, as we just discussed, think about your advertising. How can you make that strategy come to life with the messages that you want to be able to convey, with the visuals, the logos, the pictures that you want to be able to communicate? And from there, you can also look for future trainings. There are a series, I know, there are more coming up. And with that, we hope you achieve success. So I will pause for a moment and see if there are any questions.
No questions from us.
All right. Well, with that, I will say thank you. It has been a pleasure working with you today. If you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. And I hope this has been helpful, and there will be some follow-up communications later on.
Will you be sharing the material as well?
I'm happy to do that. So I'm assuming I can work through Manuela and be able to share the materials. And in the appendix, I do have some worksheets that you know, can be filled out as well. There are the worksheets that I showed on the screen today. Any other questions?
No, I don't have any question.
All right. Well, thank you all. It has been a pleasure and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.